Hey guys, Ranshin here, bringing you the very first episode of Ranshin's Orgasmic PlayStation Network video game ExtravaGANZA! That is caps lock Ganza, 4 exclamation marks, and a 1, for those of you that are interested. This is brought to you by Cloudless Entertainment. Do not forget that. But this is going to be the very first episode in a spin-off of Nuke's cheap and awesome indie game Explosion. And I'm bringing you the game Mushroom Wars, created by Create Studios, or Create Studios, not whatever, for the PlayStation Network and PlayStation Network only. This is a real-time strategy game with a very, very unique, cutesy twist. As you see, it offers I believe a 27 or 28 mission, maybe even 29 mission campaign with a skirmish mode. And I'm here just gonna show you the gameplay, explain to you guys what's going on. Well, you got in your skirmish also, you got a bunch of different missions where you can face up against 1 computer opponent, 2 computer opponents, or 3 computer opponents. You can play 3 types of modes of play in 3 different difficulty settings. I'm going to start off with playing something called the domination setting. The domination game is where you have to basically take all the buildings that have the stars on them, and that way you win the game. Now here I am on the bottom right hand corner as the orange mushroom guys, and there are 3 different factions, if you will, in this game. Well, not really factions, basically 3 different types of dudes, and there's absolutely no difference between them other than they look differently and kind of have different looking buildings and different sound effects and stuff like that. But the point of the game is to capture these little mushroom houses, and when you do so, whenever you have a mushroom house, they continuously produce troops. And then you use these troops to upgrade the building. As you see, I did there in the middle. The building had a blue arrow, and I sacrificed, I believe, 10 troops to build it up to the next level. 1 mushroom house gives you a max of 20 troops to hold inside of it. Then you have to upgrade it more to hold more inside. Regular houses that you can upgrade can hold up to 80 troops. And special houses, like the ones you get at the start of the game, like these with the stars, can hold up to a maximum of 100. So I'm now moving to the left side towards my blue opponent on the left side. Decided to annex one of his buildings, and I'm gonna quickly move a bunch of troops towards that building just in case he decides to counterattack, which he's not doing. But we have the red opponent at the upper right hand and the green opponent at the upper left hand. And you got 3 types of buildings in the game. Right here, they're only just the standard barracks buildings, but you also have forge buildings, which greatly increase the attack power of every single unit. And you also have towers, which basically fire on any enemy unit running by it or under it. And you can upgrade every single type of building. Well, you can upgrade both towers to fire faster and have slightly better defensive capabilities, but you cannot actually upgrade forges. You can just kind of put forces in there to defend it. I sent a few troops towards that building for no real reason, just sent them to their doom and death. Every time you upgrade one of these barracks buildings, they produce more troops or have a capacity of higher. As you see there, my star building had 100 troops and was not producing anymore. And each time you upgrade a building, the more kind of small houses it has, the more houses each building has, the more defensive power it has, the better it defends. So you can basically get that to yourself. The way to make your troops stronger are to make forges, but that way you kind of sacrifice the amount of troops you're going to have, which you see at the bottom, the very bottom in the middle. And kind of to the corners, you also see these little circles that fill up on the left, on the blue guys right there. On the lower left-hand side, you see they have 2 little glowing suns. Now that's a morale boost. Every time someone has a morale boost, it ups their defensive capabilities, their offensive capabilities, and there's the speed of their units. So it's a great idea to get your morale up if you can. I have absolutely no morale, and the red guys right now are going to come in, bust in there with a huge army, try to take over my buildings, which they've managed to do, and I'm going to try to fight back and take that back, but they're going to send in even more troops, so I'm in a lot of trouble. But yeah, this game rule, very cutesy, non-serious at all, but it has a fairly decent campaign, and 28, 29 missions. And has 3 different difficulty settings, which there is really a big difference between. I'm playing on normal here, and the only advantage on normal is that you get those blue arrows telling you when buildings can be upgraded. On normal, alongside that, the AI is generally not as aggressive, or just not as strong, basically against you. And you get prompts whenever one of your buildings is going to be attacked. plus and a huge advantage, you get to see exactly how many enemies are in each building, how many enemies are garrisoned in each building. So the game is easiest on easy, of course, and that's the only mode I've beaten the final level in because it is hard as hell. But yeah, the level I'm playing here in the campaign is one of my favorites because it kind of, you got 3 opponents and it kind of offers some chaotic options. You see I'm getting my butt kicked. We have 2 buildings here and the least amount of troops by far. The blue guys that are second worst off have almost double the troops that I do. And now the red guys are just going to go straight towards my main building, and I'm just going to, any troops that I produce right now, I'm just going to send right towards my main building, just constantly attempt to survive as long as possible. I have 2 suns up, so I have a pretty decent morale going at the very least. Slowly building it up. You build up morale also by attacking, but you primarily build it up by successfully defending, especially against large assaults. Right now, see I have up to 3 suns now. They're just going to continue attacking. Green guys are going to come at me again. My morale is going to continue building up. And actually, if I keep going like this, I would possibly be able to defend for quite a while. If I build up at least a small number of troops. Won't keep them for too long, but, you know, a man can give it a shot. So I barely managed to survive, get up to 4 suns. So I have a huge defensive boost. Never mind the fact that the building with 4 suns already has a huge defensive boost. He's burning like crazy, though. So I'm just continue sending in 1 troop, 1 troop, 1 troop, 1 troop. Try to survive. Kind of really elite at the same. But there I misclick. Oh, I was so ashamed of myself when I was doing this. I misclicked, sent my troops away. They're just going to die while trying to run to another builder. And I am going to lose. I feel so horrible. But you got 3 different game modes that you can all access in the skirmish. That was, as you saw there, domination. There is conquest mode, which involves you basically taking every single building on the map. And there's King of the Hill mode, which involves taking specific buildings with stars on them, except you don't have to take every single building, but basically hold certain buildings, and that way it builds points. And when you get to 300 points, you win the game. And I'm going to give here a good old shot on Quadrex 1. Go for King of the Hill. As you see, 4-player map. Play on normal, as I usually do, until I had to switch to easy on the campaign because it got way too hard. Got these 4 players all over the place. And you got those little crowns, and those are the amount of points you got. And you basically have to take the building in the middle, build up points. Also want to say, this game does unfortunately not have online play. It does have local multiplayer. So far, I think it only supports 2 players. They promised 4-player support, but they haven't. I'm not sure if they've done that yet. I haven't tried that. I don't think there is 4-player support right off the bat there. I make mistakes and don't manage to get my 4th building. My AI opponents are totally kicking my ass. But definitely there's a fun little game. There are leaderboards, so if you're a competitive guy, you like to go around there showboating and say, I am the best ever. There are, I don't know, pseudo achievements after you win every single level. They kind of represent what kind of strategy you went for. They say, oh, you were a conqueror, you were a tactician. Basically, that all depends on what kind of strategies you took. And, attempting to get as many of those and as many points as possible. If you like competing on international leaderboards, that can be a lot of fun, actually. I'm not going to say this game is for everybody, but I still think it's very simple, very easy controls. It does not take long. It has a short tutorial. The first couple levels in the campaign are tutorials, and they're very simple, explain the game very well, and you're going to find yourself having no time whatsoever. You're going to be going through the game in no time whatsoever. It has very simple aesthetic and controls, and just fun and colorful. And it's available on the PlayStation Network in the USA for only $10, so it's a very cheap game. The campaign, depending on how good a player you are and how deep you want to go into it in each difficulty level, it might last you from 5 up to 10 hours. And it's always fun to go on random skirmish. I kind of regret the fact there are no level customizations. That's one of my deep regrets in the game, that there are no level customizations. I would have loved to be able to customize one of my own level to use for skirmish. But unfortunately, that's not an option. So, I live with playing the game as it is. But it's definitely a fun little game you can pick up whenever I'm bored. I sometimes find myself just, hey, why not have a round of skirmish or revisit the campaign in Mushroom Wars? And sometimes I get deep into it, play like a couple skirmishes for 2 hours, or attempt to tackle a final mission in normal, which I still have not successfully done. It is punishing as all heck. Right now here, gonna take that building away from close to my buildings, and now I'm gonna aim all my troops at the tower. Go for the tower. If you can take the tower and upgrade, you can be in a good position. Every time in this game you pick up a building, you basically take a building with one of your troops, you lower its upgrade level. whether it's a tower or not. Now, you know, the tower was fully upgraded before, but now it's lowered by 1 level, so we have to upgrade it with 20 troops, and that with every barracks building as well. But this game really a lot of fun. $10. It's very cheap and definitely good enough bang for a buck. It's, you know, it's not going to break the bank, and I definitely recommend it for pretty much anybody, whether you're a fan of RTS or not. So this has been the very first episode of Ranshin's Extravaganza. I hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to more soon as I go out there and find a way to make money to buy more of these things. Ranshin out, guys. GG. Enjoy gaming.